Hello, good morning, and welcome to Navigating the Current Energies with Winn and Deborah Sudarsky. Really happy to be here with you today. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about, and let's just begin by taking just a moment to reconnect with ourselves and open to receive whatever it is that we need to hear today to navigate the coming week. Feel your feet on the floor, feel your seat on the chair. Just gather your energy back home. Feel your belly center. Just in Vedic, medicine they call it sadvik. Like just be very neutral and simple with yourself. Call on the high beings, call on the organizing principle of the universe, just that you can be open to hear what you need to hear, and for Deborah and I to be able to speak what needs to be spoken for the benefit of all beings. So with that, Deborah, do you want to say anything before I jump in?
No, I think you should get started because we have actually two charts to discuss, and I think they're both interesting.
So let me share the screen, and we are going to start with the week of roughly July 30th to August 4th. Depending on where you are in the world, that could change a little bit, a day on either side. So this week, and maybe I'm guessing you're already feeling it, the sun is in the gate 33 called the gate of privacy. Or in Karen Curry Parker's quantum language retelling. And the earth is in gate 19, transiting gate 19, which is called sensitivity or wanting in traditional human design. And in quantum human design, it's called attunement. So what does this mean? First of all, the 19 is super sensitive. The whole world is a bit sensitive this week. We're super tuned in, and it can show up in a lot of different ways. It might be sensitivity to food, or to something touching your body, or to how somebody is being. It's just, it's like the dial of sensitivity has been turned up, and we are like feeling it. We're feeling everything. This is also called the gate of wanting. There's a wanting to be seen, a wanting to be met, and there's your own urges and wanting what you want for yourself, who you are. It is tribal energy, but there's it's part of the urge of wanting. And with wanting, the shadow side can be disappointment and not getting, right? So there's that side too. We're grappling with this. Can we let ourselves be in our wanting, whether or not it's received? Can we stand in that and hold that and allow that sensitivity to inform us, rather than go down the rabbit hole of I'm not getting my needs met, things aren't okay, and fall into that distress mode, right? Either one of those. We can walk either way. We can stand in our wanting. We know in law of attraction, it's your wanting, that deep wanting that attracts what you're wanting. So it's a frequency. Where are you in that frequency of wanting? Are you standing in it with clear light, allowing it to beam out and just resonate in the universe? Or are you grasping for getting those needs met by other human beings who aren't able to meet those, and feeling disappointed, and kind of like a Sisyphean kind of, the rock keeps coming down the hill. You roll it up, but you never get what you want. You just never get what you want. So that's the earth. So the more we're grounded by our wanting, we're grounded by our sensitivity. So the more you can tap into feeling it, allowing it, embracing it, that's going to ground you. Now, as you do that, then the sun is in retreat or privacy. What we're doing is we're taking time to go in and think about, feel, register, look back at our life at situations, and gather wisdom from it, right? Gather information from it, like what worked, what didn't work, what was that story, what that thing that happened, what really was it, that illness or that whatever that was, what was really going on there. It's a time to tap in and get wisdom about that. And then remember the sensitivity. So we're bringing our sensitivity to that looking back. I actually have a nephew who was born today, and he did his graduate work. He did his college work in history. He's a historian. So this is that kind of energy. We're looking back in history. We're gathering information, and from the history, we're telling a narrative. What's the narrative we're telling? What's the story we're telling from the history? Now, if you're in that low frequency with your sensitivity and you're looking back, you're going to see a lot of bad stuff and feel depleted and feel victimized by your past. But the opportunity here really is to use your sensitivity and see it from new eyes and come up with a narrative that's actually empowering for you and the people around you. Because this is a teaching gate. You learn from your past and you teach from it. Any questions, Deborah? Are we good with that?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's going to segue perfectly when I.
Okay, so let me just share the other gate that we're moving into. Oops. All right, so around the 5th, let me just pull
Yeah,
it up on the screen.
yes,
You
there you
see it
go.
now? Around the 5th to the 10th, the earth goes into the listener. So we've gone from listening to the past to the listener, and we're listening to the people around us. We're listening to stories. This is putting your ear and hearing really what people are saying and gathering the information. And you'll find with this gate that people are telling things that maybe they have never said before to you. It's like suddenly some of the secrets are going to start being told. There'll be more trust. There'll be a space to listen. That's the opportunity that we're moving into. And from that listening, we move into democratic leadership or the collaborator. Gate 7, this is chief of staff. This is all coming from the identity center, all our direction in life. We're going to get direction in life by listening. Where do we go next? How do we support the leaders? How do we support our clients? How do we support people to take action from the deep listening? So this is, like I said, the chief of staff. We're going to be sharing the knowledge that we've gained from listening in order to create a better world, in order to upgrade, to move into a new place. Now, I know you wanted to speak to that, Deborah, so I'm going to pause there and let you.
Yeah, there, I have loads of birthday. My nephew also is having a birthday on the 5th, and one of my dearest friends here in LA is having a birthday on the 10th. My nephew happens to have his PhD in comp lit, so I was kind of thinking about that when you were going through. But what I want to share is that my message was a lot about healing relationships this week, but also kind of the next few weeks, which segues into some of what you were talking about, having your needs met, identifying what that looks like. And oftentimes, well, I just want to share, before Robin and I actually got on the call, we were doing a little bit of composites where we looked at relationships and how we were able to actually get our needs satisfied by another. And in our charts, you can see that sometimes we hook up together in a satisfying way and sometimes we don't. And we're often frustrated sometimes with relationships, and sometimes relationships don't have maybe what we need, and we just have to appreciate what it does offer. And in my mind, I guess the message is, when I'm frustrated in a relationship, I often look inside because there's some kind of healing that often needs to happen for me. And I'm looking for another to satisfy whatever that is. And so in the relationship dynamics of what's happening in the next few weeks, and the message from the guides is that it's actually a particularly great opportunity in the next few weeks to get projects finished, to move forward. There's a lot of really positive energy to completing things that we've been working on for the past few months. So I think it's a very positive time. And it's also a time for healing relationships. And so when you're looking at a relationship and maybe feeling frustrated, it's an opportunity to reconnect with what's going on personally. So as you identify maybe what it is that you're needing, you can realize that it's not fair sometimes to expect that someone else can answer those needs. And we can get a clearer way of figuring out how to satisfy what that looks like. And so it seems like the next few weeks, there's a really great opportunity for looking at ourselves, looking at relationships, and moving forward. And I feel like we've all had a really challenging past few months. And so in a way, there's going to be a little bit of a respite in the next few upcoming weeks. But I love that question about, how do I get my needs met? And identifying sometimes what our needs are so that we're not just unfairly putting that on other people. When we can identify exactly what it is, then we know how to find, better solutions for ourselves. So there's a great opportunity going on right now. And again, it's a really great time for some healing, some rest. I know a lot of people take vacation in August. It seems like it's a great time for that. Maybe even some travel. So I think understanding that super sensitivity that you spoke to, and really trying not to be reactive, but stay as centered as you can and connected, and really clear out the things that don't work for you anymore so that you can have that clarity going forward.
Wow, I love what you're saying. It kind of tripped something in my mind, if it's okay for me to jump in here.
Yeah, perfect.
That need, that place of need, it can collapse into neediness, right? But truly, that place of need there's a light in it. And from a human design perspective, if we follow our strategy and authority, if we approach that need in a correct way, then we are going to get our needs met in some way. They might not be in the way we were thinking, right? So, for instance, I have both of us have, or generator, manifesting generator. So I said yes to something that I actually had a no for. I had a need to do something else. And, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me, right? I didn't honor my need.
I think the other thing that you're saying, I'm so glad you said something, is that oftentimes we kind of go out of ourselves in our relationships with others, especially when we're not as conscious or tuned in, because our intimate relationships, I think we're looking at them a little bit more deeply, but sometimes we're not. And you have that feeling of merging or connecting, and really connecting with ourselves is the best place to then honor what those relationships look like. That we can meet our needs more fully when we're tuned in from what's going on here, as opposed to just clinging or reaching out, or connecting from that place of pushing. We've talked about that a lot in the past few weeks, about not pushing towards our goals. And that's the same thing when connecting with another person, is that when I connect with myself, that's the best place for me to meet and honor somebody else, and without pushing into their energy to make that connection or whatever it is. And so I love what you're bringing up, because I think relationships are really ultimately reflections of our own relationship to self. And when there's that frustration, it's such a great opportunity to go back and do the healing work, do the meditation, reconnect. And then when I know for sure that when I'm feeling connected, my relationships just work better. And when I'm really off center and I'm grabbing hold, save me, fix me, those relationships just don't work. Even relationships that I see on a day-to-day basis need to have readjustment when I'm not coming from the right space of feeling that inner connection.
I love that. One of the ways I think of that, I know we need to stop in a moment. One of the ways I think of that is to help us look at this. Is this an ego need, or is this a being need? Right? Because the ego is all about attraction, aversion. It's grasping or it's repelling. So if you find yourself in that tumble, that's the flag that says, yo, pull back, come back, let's tap in. What's the real need here? Let's look again at the story. What's the real need here? What's the real need? Do I really need that person to pick up those socks? Do I really need that for my happiness? No. What's the real need? I want my house to feel like a temple. Okay, what do I need? How do I create that?
Perfect. It's a great note to end on, but more importantly, I think it was really a valuable point because learning how to identify what is ego is a really helpful way of getting clarity.
Yeah, crucial. Okay, I know you've got to run, Deborah, and let's just take a moment here and close our eyes, come back to ourselves. Just take a moment, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, and just recognize, what did you receive today? One. And two, open to knowing your needs as you look back at your story, as you look back at your life. And let's just offer whatever we've received today for the benefit of all beings, and know that we're all going forward in this together, and we're guided and supported on our journey. Okay, thank you all so much.
I feel our hearts connecting and creating a really powerful energy, and I hope those of you who listen can feel and get some grounding with that guidance that feels like it's coming through our guides to create some energy that's actually palpable, so you can feel it. It's a gift from the galactic energy.
Love, thank you for naming that. Okay then, we'll see you next Monday. Take care.